Hey everyone, I'm Brian, the GM of the MasterFools. They're a talented group of role players whose characters operate an up-and-coming adventuring guild in the Crown of the North. You can watch their first hired job on YouTube. Check out Prologue Part 1 and 2. You can also become one of my heroes by liking, subscribing, and sharing our channel with your companions. In this video, the MasterFools present Journey of the Bronzewing Chapter 1. We filmed the session at friendly local game store All American Cards and Comics in Warren, Ohio. All American has an awesome selection of Dungeons & Dragons books and miniatures and a large public play space where there's always room for your next game. We want to thank All American owner Greg for hosting us. Be sure to check them out at allamericancardscomics.com. Alright, let's go to the table where the players' characters are gathered at their guild house in the trade board. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Brown. I'll be running today's game. Welcome to Chapter 1 of Journey of the Bronzewing here at All American Cards and Comics in Warren, Ohio. I want to go around and introduce our cast and characters first. I'll start here with Heidi. She's playing Temerity, the Tiefling Monk.
Hello, I'm Temerity. I'm hail from the northern cities of Faerun, and I mostly just wander around kind of doing what I want, but I'm with a group at the moment.
Next to Heidi, we have Jay, who's playing Blaynine, the human artificer.
I'm as standard as they come, human all the way.
On the other side of the table, we have Sly, who's playing Gavin, the golden dragonborn fighter.
Dude.
Next, we have Myrrh. They are playing Jackie, the gnome wild sorcerer.
Yes, I used to live underground in a cult, but that's what they told me that it was. But then they came and got me and all my friends, and now I'm here with my new friends who I don't think are cults.
We'll find out.
That's debatable.
Always changeable.
And last but not least, we have Zero. They are playing San, the gold
dwarf?
Yeah, it is a gold dwarf. Gold dwarf cleric.
Yeah, I'm playing San, who has a very boisterous voice, as long as I'm sitting up straight and I don't slouch. And I've already lost my train of thought. Oh, we kill a lot of things. Why do we keep killing things? All right, that's all.
It's because we're totally not a cult.
We're not a cult. We just keep killing all of these things. But they don't have consciences.
In our last session, we had the opportunity to help serve a merchant in the city named Tucker, and his chicken, whose name was Lizzie. What did you guys do for Tucker and Lizzie in our last episode?
Sussed out a secret relationship. Oh wait, nope. We defeated an ooze in the sewers beneath Waterdeep.
And we're all very grateful for Jackie's assistance in getting all the sewer off of us.
We totally didn't interact with any alligators.
Oh, that's true.
That was my first
Thankfully.
kill.
That you know of.
Cult.
So we still have in that session the issue of gold pieces and the amount of 400 owed on our guild house that's here in front of us. In that session, we posted a bunch of different flyers around the city and are all set to hopefully get a job to come our way, right? Since the last session, it is the evening of the next day. So just yesterday, you helped out Tucker and Lizzie with their ooze problem. And now the group of you have been having dinner. I think Jackie probably made dinner again. She's really good at it. And you all are having dinner at the guild house. Kind of a little bit late, but you guys are kind of all still hanging out, discussing your plans for how you're going to get some work to make this money.
Just a point of order. I bought a new quarterstaff today and presented it to Blainine because I left theirs in the sewer the other day. And I also used my channel divinity for the day to become proficient in cooking and wrote down some cooking tips for Jackie.
Thanks, Betty.
I have to admit, this is a lot better seasoned than last night. You are really improving quickly.
Thank you.
Also, I think one other thing we missed was that sometime today, earlier in the day, at least one of you probably stopped and saw Tucker to pick up a couple of chickens that were owed to the group.
I was out on the town anyways.
Puppy chicken.
So yeah, you guys do have 2 puppy chickens, as Jackie
Yay!
calls them. And those are, you guys have your own little chicken coop outside now for them. Fresh eggs available to the MasterFools.
That'll help with our budget.
Did you put that on the map?
I haven't. I apologize. I do have some little chickens. I should have brought them. Maybe next time.
Jackie has been spending a lot of time in the chicken coop. Everything is kind of like made for her size, so it's a nice place to just hang out with her new puppy chicken friends.
Nice. If you want to place your group of characters in the main dining area there, you're all kind of discussing.
Is this Blaina?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Oh, cool.
You painted Jackie?
I didn't.
Oh,
That's
no.
that's a temporary Jackie until
Oh,
Jackie
okay.
gets painted. I'll get her painted.
Okay.
Well, I haven't heard anything yet in regards to our posters, but
Well, we got
these
what?
things take time.
We got 7 gold last time. We only need what? 13 more?
Oh, so much more diversity.
So another thing that Sam did was wrote down like all of the ways that gold, how much because I think I looked up the city watch city guard makes like 6 gold coins a month. So then I like converted 400 gold dragons into how long that would take, and I gave I gave Gavin and Sly a little reference card with all of the currencies just in case it might help. Maybe it's not the money. Maybe it's not because it's not in Draconic. So I also wrote it in Draconic.
So let me make sure I get this. Sam has put together cooking recipes for Jackie and basic currencies / mathematics for Gavin. Okay.
It's like it would take you like 5 years to make this much in the city guard.
Does that assume no expenses?
Yes.
And we do have those.
Oh yeah, we do. Lane and I spent like 5 gold last time just for the bribe.
There wasn't a bribe.
It was.
I feel like it was a bribe.
I thought it was a bribe.
It was a fee.
You said it was a bribe.
Well,
He said it was a
I
fee.
guess here we can say it's a bribe. Just not out on the streets.
Okay.
It's like we're cheating on something. Here it's okay. It's out in public. Not so
This
much.
is not a cult.
We could always look for
That's
job
what the business
postings
cards.
again. I think they put them up around the dock ward.
It's getting pretty late
Markets.
tonight though.
Not today, but
You never know. Someone might
Fresh
randomly
in the
knock on
morning.
the door.
It is starting to get pretty late into the evening, and at that time, just before midnight, as you were wrapping up your discussions for how to go forward, there's a knock on the door.
Wow.
Thank you.
time of night.
I wonder if they have a job.
They better have something good.
Hey, I'm not answering the door. I'm not sure I'm pretty sure we've covered this a couple times.
I'll answer the door again.
Alright.
Those Raven Queen acolytes work
Sure,
real late,
Jackie.
don't they? Do you have a moment to
I'll
talk
join you.
about our Lord and Savior?
Okay.
I'm gonna like
Someone
sneak
shady.
and look through the door. So,
Got Jackie there. Jackie opens the door, and you are greeted by a very tall dragonborn.
I mean, this is Jackie we're talking about. You're gonna have to be a little bit more descriptive than that.
That's true. Good
Jackie's like
With
what,
Gavin
2'9", 2'10"?
But a dragonborn, unlike you have probably seen before, Jackie.
I didn't put. I think 2'8" is what I said.
When you open the door, as I said, there's this very tall dragonborn. Its skin is like green glass, and its horns seem to float above its head, unattached.
Okay. So I've never seen most of the races that I've recently encountered, so I probably
Wouldn't think much about it.
see new things all the time and people that look different all the time because I grew up only around gnomes, so everybody is weird and different and way too tall.
He looks down at you and says, pulling one of your postings that you have made out of his jacket, "I saw this sign posted. May I come in?"
And I'm like, look at Temerity, like,
Why not?
okay.
Thank you.
They let him in.
what-
They let him in.
What's your name? I'm Jackie.
Hi, Jack. I'm Deccan.
Okay.
Welcome.
And who are you?
Temerity, what is your business here?
Is this all of you?
No.
Yes.
Now I'm a bit confused.
I suppose it depends on your business.
Well, I thought I might be able to employ the MasterFools Guild.
Then this is not all of us. Welcome to our home.
Oh, very well. Thank you.
Do you want some soup? I just made some.
I just ate.
I suppose you should meet the rest of us and explain the task. Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah.
Invite him into the main
So
hall.
yeah.
Knock that over.
At this point, I'm sitting and just scarfing down the soup.
How many servings are you gonna eat?
Small vacuum sound going on.
Oh, he's a growing boy.
When
He's
he
still
enters,
growing?
when he enters the room, Deccan makes eye contact with you, Gavin, and nods respectfully in your direction.
I nod back, maybe not as respectively, with like stuff dripping down my chin.
The Dragonborn tosses a small pouch onto the center table. Open it.
I'll open it.
Inside the pouch, Blainine, there are 6 lustrous, opaque pearls of various colors.
These are fantastic specimens. Probably.
What's your intelligence modifier?
That's a great question. It is a 3.
So you have 13 passive intelligence then? Yeah.
What
Sure.
you said.
You, looking at those, would estimate their value to be roughly 100 gold pieces each. About 600 gold pieces worth of pearls. There's more on a ship anchored just outside the harbor. What's here is my fair share, but it was all stolen dishonorably. I'll give you this if you help me free the rest. I intend to take it back where it was stolen from.
Are you gonna come with us?
Of course.
So, stolen from your ship?
I'm sorry.
You said it was part of a share anchored off the coast?
Stolen to the ship.
The people on the ship steal it, or did you steal it from the ship, or where's the
Yes.
stealing? Where are we
Steal the
going?
whole
Yes,
ship?
yes, dwarf. Those aboard the ship stole.
Oh yeah,
the
that's me.
treasure.
From where? Where's the journey?
That is less concern of yours. I want to see it taken safely back from where it came.
But okay, but so that's not a concern.
I merely am interested in employing you to help me steal it back.
Oh, but we don't have to return it. You can return it.
Correct.
I just want to say something. This is San, not dwarf. What if you walked in and I just called you lizard? I don't think you would like that. So
Gavin
let's
should-
just be a little bit respectful. You're in our house. Thank you.
My apologies. He bows his head.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm a dwarf. Sorry, sometimes I just don't think about those things.
Yes.
Thank you.
Does he seem like he's on the up and up? Like, are we stealing for him or stealing back for him kind of situation?
Can we do insight checks?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody who's interested can make an insight check.
Do I recognize him?
No.
Okay.
2
Two.
with my negative 1.
You're not really sure what to make of this emerald dragon.
I trust him. I think he seems legit.
Are you looking for retribution on this job or just the items?
I intend to not harm anyone unless absolutely necessary, if that is what you mean.
And how are we meant to get to this boat?
From the docks, we could acquire a fishing boat. The ship is anchored outside of the harbor. I do not expect the captain and his officers to return until morning.
So what do you need more people for? Just go get it back yourself.
There will be other crew members on board. We may be forced to subdue them.
You want us to kill them? Kill everyone on the ship? I just killed something the other day, so
I'm sure
I can do that.
We could find a non-lethal option.
It
Probably.
would not be
I'm just
my
saying I can.
preference.
I'm just saying after it was done, I really didn't have like too much of a problem with it. So
Well, it was a news.
Oh, well, that makes sense, I think.
We also killed a lot of wasps.
I am not a fan of those.
What's his name again?
Deccan.
I mean, any job that doesn't take us back down to the sewers.
The DEC?
D-E-K-E-N.
In Nancy? November?
Deccan.
Alright. How many crew members are we talking here?
On board, most of the crew members have taken leave into the city to make plans for their newfound wealth. I suspect that there will be very few who remain on board.
Are they armed?
I would suspect as much.
And
Magic users.
how much? Oh, that's all right. I was just saying, how much are we expecting to carry off if we get everything back successfully?
I would suspect that we would have no trouble taking it with us.
It's not heavy.
No.
What point? Is it not heavy for you?
We will not have any trouble.
Here, one other question, kind of. In this campaign, do we have a bag of holding, or is that a different campaign I'm thinking of?
We do not.
No.
Alright, good enough.
I don't think we have any magical items
I
except
have
for
my
some
inventory
continual
straight.
flame lights.
I
And
do have
potions.
pockets in my
Yeah, we
in
have
my
a couple
dress.
potions.
That's a pretty magical accomplishment.
Fishing boat. Are we borrowing that?
In this
Most
context,
likely.
borrow means steal.
Oh,
Fantastic.
All right.
but we shouldn't say that outside, just
Right,
like the other
that's
thing.
an inside
okay,
thing.
that's an inside word, not the outside word. Okay.
You're filling in with confidence as we speak.
Why us?
He pulls the poster that he saw.
We were literally the first people you saw.
Any port in the storm kind of thing?
I'm afraid I do not follow Sam.
Just the first people you came across and you needed some people, so here we are. And it needs to be
Yes.
done tonight.
Timing is a factor.
Well, I suppose I could sleep in the morning.
I'll make some coffee.
Like a good night on the town.
Gavin's been ready to go since the guy came in.
All right, let me just grab my baton.
Who's taller, Gavin or what's his name?
Deccan.
Deccan.
How tall are you?
6'5".
That's a tall order. I think that you're probably just slightly taller than Deccan.
Does that include the floating?
Oh, not if you include just floating horns. Yeah, I think just got you beat with the.
Are we
floating horns.
confused about the floating horns at all? Is that a normal thing?
You would be confused about it if you had never seen an emerald dragonborn before.
Oh, but it's normal for an emerald dragon.
Yeah.
You get a really tall top hat.
How sturdy are they?
I'm not really fond of fighting.
The floating horns.
My horns.
No,
They're
so
pretty
you can actually
thick.
I'm trying to decide. I mean, now I got two options. Who to ride on. I'm just trying to see what would be the.
My question is, do they, like when he turns his head, they act like they're attached, or is there a little bit? Is there a little bit of a lag time, or?
Oh yeah, they don't move exactly. They would probably kind of just float into position. Yeah.
I can't reach up that high. I would kind of want to put my hand in between.
So he's got delayed reaction time when he shakes his head no.
Can you step out into our entry chamber while we talk about this for a minute?
Yeah, I'm interested. I usually ride on Gavin's shoulders, but your horns look really fun to sit on, and I think Gavin could use a break, so you'll have to carry me if that's okay, because I can't see anything from down here.
I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. This will be fun.
I'll step out for a
You
moment.
won't even feel me. I'm 40 pounds.
He steps into the other room.
All right, so he probably can't hear us right now.
It's like solid mahogany doors, right?
Yeah.
This was a quality store before it was possessed by demon things.
I don't know if this changes anything, but one of those pearls is one of the material components I need to be able to identify magic spells. I use it over at the Font of Knowledge when I'm identifying for them.
I mean, many of those,
Those pearls, those stones, those are supposed to be the payment?
Yes.
I thought we needed gold.
So I didn't include pearls and gems on the reference I gave you, but they're worth a lot.
We can absolutely exchange them for gold.
Okay.
Find a good pawn shop. Something similar. Jeweler.
As long as they're worth at least 13 gold.
50.
Definitely.
For the spell, they need to be worth 100, and that's I think those might do it. I'm not sure. I haven't investigated them yet myself, but
We'd have enough left over for more than enough left over. Our debt, your spells, and
Like an extra 5
maybe a
gold.
nice night out in the town. Some new dresses.
I think you just
More turkey.
talk to him with numbers he
Anything we
understands.
want.
It'll be a lot easier.
I mean, I think it's a weirdly good opportunity, but don't want to let something pass you by.
It's gonna be so sad to give you your share. Here's like 1 gold. And you're like, sweet.
Jackie kind of wants to ride on those horns. I mean, I'm kind of interested in them myself, but I don't think it would want to carry me. But
What do you want to know about him?
You may never hire us
they
again,
look cool.
but so shall we go and accept this job offer?
I think he seems legit.
I bring
Yeah.
up a formal contract.
All right, sounds good. That
You
was
are-
fast.
You're quick.
Quick with a pen.
All right.
Right?
I'll go just open the door for our gentleman, our friend.
I kind of lean over and look out the door. Is he still there?
Do you really?
Have you decided to help?
We have.
Okay, so Temerity, you're going to open the door and let him know that we're going to accept.
Welcome back. Yes.
I am most pleased that you are willing to take this job offer. You may keep the pearls up front as a testament to our agreement.
All right. But
Lead
I
the
just
way.
gonna take one to start, Sam.
Well, we're gonna be dealing with contraband. I'm not sure if I want to hold. Well, I mean, at this other time, it is just a magical. Okay.
It's all right. If you're worried about it, I'll keep track of the rest.
I'm gonna leave the rest in the refrigerator.
Do we have one of those? Oh,
Emily the ghost.
Christine.
yes. No better place. Find them upstairs.
Nobody's gonna mess with that.
With them with these. Our refrigerator.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think we'll need. I've also bought a 10-foot pole, but I don't think we'll need it for this one. If we're going on a boat.
I hope
Probably
not.
not. I'm gonna leave the pole behind.
Oh, I've never been on a boat. I saw them last week, right, with Gavin, but I've never been on one.
Oh well. this will be, hopefully we'll get you on one in the daylight too. But this will be a fun first adventure.
Okay, Jackie.
I'm actually more comfortable at night. We didn't really have a lot of highlighting.
Okay, Deccan leads you out of the guild house and down the road towards the dock ward.
Are there a lot of other people out right now?
Even though it is late in the evening, the trade ward in Waterdeep is busy and bustling most all times of the day and night. It's a little bit like New York City. The trade ward never really sleeps. And so there are lots of shops that are still open. And it's not quite as crowded as it is during the daytime, but there's still people moving about in the city at this hour. Slide our
Goodbye, house.
house off to the side.
It's like house.
Yeah. How's moving? House.
Okay.
This is one of those parts you cut out, right?
Nope, it's all going in.
You can place your characters all on the, I think it's called the high road, right?
This one?
Yeah. So here's where you left Virgin Square. Right here is where your guild house is. So you can put your characters right here on the road.
Well, these houses all got tiny really quick.
Are you riding, is it Danik?
Is
Deccan?
Jackie
Now,
riding-
do I
riding
get to?
Deccan
Should I roll
successfully?
persuasion to see if he let me ride
Yeah.
on
I'll just
him?
wait for a second here. I'll get this map.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, we're going in a different direction than I was expecting.
We're going to the docks.
I was thinking the docks were like the northwest, not the southwest. Or wait, this is north, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want Temerity in the back?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
You like watching our backs.
Are we assuming he let me, or?
Actually, no, pickpockets are taking advantage of our more wide-eyed companions.
Okay, again, as you leave the guild house and Virgin Square and head south on the high road, Jackie, I think, is trying to convince Deccan to let her ride his shoulders, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's make a persuasion check. And what are you going to say to Deccan?
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna act like a literal child and be like, please, I can't see anything from down here. There's too many people, they're too tall, and you won't even feel me at all. I'm so small, can't you see? $13.
13. You know, Deccan doesn't look like he's very convinced, but he takes you at being an honest, though maybe slightly strange, little gnome, and says, "This is most unusual, but I suppose I will allow it."
Oh, Gavin lets
And
me
he
do it all the time.
bows down to let you climb aboard.
I climb up. And I'm like kind of holding like the front of them, like I'm steering him.
As you head down the high road, you get maybe a block when, among the various citizens, you hear a voice ring out distinctly.
It wasn't me.
Well, what do we have here? Two tall, strong, sailor-looking types approach the group of you. Captain was right to have us tail you, Deccan. He knew you wouldn't let it go. So I guess we're gonna have to beat the self-righteousness out of you, aren't we? You shouldn't have followed me, Tenzin.
Are they talking to us or talking to you? What's going on
They're
here?
talking to him.
You and Gunda ought to go back to the tavern and forget your orders as usual. Tenzin angrily reaches toward the light hammer on his waist.
Told it out.
Roll initiative.
I'm still not used to having a positive Okay. Initiative modifier.
How do we do?
20.
20 for temerity.
Got a 3.
Ooh, 3 for 0.
21.
21 for Jackie.
21 for Hartford.
2 for Gavin.
16.
16 for Blaine9.
We got minis for the
I
sailors.
do. One of the two sailors, Tenzin, has just angrily reached for his light hammer. Jackie, you had the highest initiative. What do you want to do?
Okay, so he's just reached for it. I mean, just like gut reaction, like this is happening. I'm just gonna fire magic missile like a turret from the top
Yeah.
of his horns.
Are all 3 shots going at the one reaching for the light hammer right now? The one that he called Tenzin?
I'm gonna go boom, boom, boom. So 2 on the 2 on one, and then
One on the other.
just 1 on the other.
Okay.
2 on the hammer reaching 1.
Tenzin reaches for his light hammer. Jackie casts magic missile.
Just immediately reacts.
Does it hit?
Oh, it hits.
It hits. Roll your damage.
2?
You got I don't have a third one.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, what's fancy?
Ooh.
That was.
Oh my gosh, look at that one. Okay, sorry. It's +1, so 5, 4, 5, 14.
You did 2 to 1 and 1 to the other.
Which one took the...
No, that's a 3.
No, but I'm saying you did 2 on one guy and 1 on the other guy. So
Oh, right.
So Tenzin, who took 2, he's taking how much damage?
Yeah, we'll do 9 on one
9
and
on
5
Tenzin.
on the other.
5 on Gunder.
nice rolls.
Woo!
Magic missile.
Did you want anything else from Jackie?
Does Jackie want to do anything else? You staying put?
No,
watching
just
those
asking
from-
if you had anything else.
Ah,
Or-
temerity.
Wait, they didn't go down?
So this one was the one that was hit more.
Tenzin is the one who has the light hammer in his hand. Yep.
It's like a mall.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a fine for fighting in the streets. I'll just kind of twirl my baton and then accidentally hit him in the face with it for my attack. 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
Oops. That is from dice. 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well, let me help you with that. Bonus action martial arts attack.
Oh yeah.
Oops. Yep. That is a 14 to hit.
That is also a hit. Tenzin taking a beating.
How about 7 more points of damage?
That's what he gets for going for that hammer, right?
You should really be more careful with that.
Anything else, Temerity?
Nope.
Okay. After taking, was it your baton to the...
Baton and then a fist.
After taking your baton to the face, Tenzin swings that, grabs a hold of that light hammer and swings it at you. And it is going to be a 12 against your armor class. Misses.
Woo!
The other sailor pirate is named Gunder. Gunder pulls his hook from the rope around his belt, and he attempts to hook Deccan with it. He misses. Buena.
I'd like to pull 3 of my little stones out, cast magic stone on it. I got a little one in the sling and fire it at the one with the hammer.
Tenzin.
Tenzin?
Yeah.
Did Gunton move up to Decken then? Or does it have, okay.
It's a 13.
That is a hit.
Okay. 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. This will take Tenzin out.
That's that.
All for Blade 9?
Yep.
Start calling me David.
Sam.
Alright. Did this guy get hit yet?
Yeah, he was hit once by
Oh, right.
a magic
Nice.
missile.
Told it!
This is a saving throw for me.
Yes, wisdom.
Oh, that is definitely a failure.
Okay, I get to do a d12. Don't. Last time I did this, I only got a 1. Come on. 6.
6 points of damage from Toll the Dead.
Woo! Sand woos like that. Not deep at all. Just woo!
And then after Sam, Gavin is up.
Okay, what I want to do is from where I'm at, rush the guy, push him over, and then use my second wind if I need to pull a sword, put it at his neck, and say, "Go away."
Okay. If you want to put your sword to his neck, you probably need to like grapple him first. But
Well, my plan is to push him down.
okay.
I guess we could.
So you want to shove him?
Yeah.
All right. So make a strength. Make a strength
Shove
check. Yeah.
14.
You know, these pirate bosuns, just like you, are pretty brawny, and I actually beat you with that. So your attempt to shove him for your action is deflected.
All right, then I'll just swipe at him with a second wind.
You mean action surge?
Action surge, not second wind.
Action surge.
Different edition.
No, he gets second wind next level, I think.
It's
Yeah, it's for health, though, not for action.
Yeah.
Different thing.
10.
10. 10 is a miss.
Doesn't it have the AC of a yellow ochre?
Oh, that was disappointing.
Decken draws his sword and points it in the direction of Gunder and says, "You best give up or we're going to have to take you down. The captain will do worse than you ever could, Decken." Jackie.
Seems kind of like personal thing between the two of them. Like maybe a little something needs worked out here. I don't know. I think we're just gonna go with a firebolt. Wait, I'm sorry, how crowded is this?
You know,
Street. You said it's pretty crowded.
It was pretty crowded, but when this fight started, which was a fight breaking out on a main road in Waterdeep is not normal, everybody immediately started kind of dispersing.
We've got a little bit of...
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's not fireball, but like,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
if I miss, it could still
Yeah.
go somewhere. No. I don't really have anything to knock him down with. And Jackie actually is probably gonna hold her action. Because she's not sure if they
I'm not sure what to do, absolutely.
if they want to talk or
What about Samara?
anything.
Still menacing us with a hook.
Mm-hmm.
You should put that down before someone gets hurt. 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
I'm now picturing Temerity as just like Jackie Chan. Oh, what are you doing?
5 points of damage. Bludgeoning.
5 points of bludgeoning damage. Okay.
bonus action martial arts.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Oh, a critical hit.
2d4. That is 6 damage.
6 points of damage.
Nice sound effect.
Knocked out.
Alright. So, are there any guards around? Are we out of initiative now, or?
Yeah, so you look around, make a perception check.
Do I have any idea what the reaction time for the guards or something like this might be?
Pretty quick, within a minute or two.
Can I retroactively say that on that turn, I did hop off
Yes.
and just kind of fling myself off of his shoulders?
What was your perception?
22.
22. San, you take a good look around, and you see people kind of scattering about. In the distance, you see a recognizable member of the watch. Looks like they're coming in this way.
Alright, the watch is coming in, guys. We need to maybe make ourselves scarce. Do we want to finish these guys off?
We should blend in. Leave them for the god.
Alright.
Have a miserable night in the cell.
Oh, we didn't kill them? I'm sorry.
I smacked it with a stick.
I didn't know if that was auto death or.
I agree with San. It would be best if we leave quickly. We can catch a train here on the main road and follow it down to the dock.
A drain?
A dray and follow it down to and ride it down
A
to the dock.
drain.
A dray.
A
A dray. A dray, I say.
I don't want to go down any more drains. No more, please.
It's alright, this is a little bit of luxury.
Drays
I think
are
now.
unique, I think, to Waterdeep. They are large carriages that are glassed in and actually kind of almost like a double-decker bus. It has a second level, and the coachman actually rides on the second level and directs the horse from there.
You said we saw guards actively coming over?
Sand in the distance sees guards
But if we leave
approaching.
right now, we can probably,
Okay.
Let's kind of put my form a little bit behind Gavin's to hide my distinctive features.
And we.
As you peel down the road, you see that there is a dray that is pulling up along the side street, and people are boarding the back of it. There's a little bar, a little step bar, and you can get onto the drays. Deccan points in the direction of the dray. He says, "Let's go."
Perfect.
On we go.
I'm just kind of like ushering everyone.
Give Jackie a little hand up the stairs.
I am like, because I've had to keep up with you. I was on my own on the ground and very exasperated for not falling behind.
Follow the Jackie pace.
At the back of the dray,
Just pick me
a
up,
fare
bro.
taker is collecting coin from those boarding. The boarding
Nice.
fare is 2 copper pieces, or 2 nibs, as we call it here in Waterdeep.
So the
Is
silver
there
will cover
any
us all.
kind of blind
Yeah.
spot where the fare taker wouldn't be able to see you?
I
See
got-
somebody like
He's
Hop onto
he's
the-
pretty much like standing right there at the back. So when you board, you're like right in front of
Are
him.
we trying to save 2 coppers?
is there like a bumper or something somebody could just kind of hop on and not be noticed?
There on the back of the carriage there is a bar that's kind of just forms a step, but that's really all there is there, and you're stepping onto the dray from there.
All right, I thought I'd ask.
2 copper, my guy.
It's all
I
right.
give a
It's
silver and
okay.
pay for the party.
Well, how generous then?
We're all together.
The fare taker takes your coin, and then you hear as the coachman whips the horse, and the dray takes off down the road in the direction of the docks. As you're passing down the road here, you'll see that you pass a massive statue, of what appeared maybe to at first be a statue, of the Honorable Knight.
Boy, I hope that's just a statue.
I think they move around though.
Only when the city's in
Do you
danger.
know that canonically, though?
His eyes
Oh, no,
follow
yeah,
you
you
as
would.
you move around.
There's most of those.
If you say
still
that,
go
I'm
to
looking
work,
for his
I
eyes.
It is enormous, wearing plate armor, carrying a massive shield and a long sword. The scale of the statue is right for the scale of your miniatures. Sam, I think you've been doing quite a bit of reading about Waterdeep.
Yeah, I read Volo's Enchiridion, or I don't know how to say the word, but
Enchiridion.
Enchiridion. Thank you
Enchiridion.
very much. So yeah, I've read about it.
And as a result, I would think your character would be familiar enough with the Honorable Knight and the statues of Waterdeep to share with the party that this statue first appeared during the Spell Plague over a century ago in 1385. And that this statue and others wreaked havoc on the city, laying waste to it for a period of time. Just as suddenly as they appeared from the ethereal plane, they disappear again, and or rather, they stopped moving. And but unfortunately, the Black Staff was unable to send them back, and so these statues have been here for over a century. And really, they have continued to build Waterdeep around them, so they've just sort of become a part of the backdrop of the city. But as you pass the Honorable Knight on the dray, it's hard not to look at it in awe at its sheer size. A number of the other passengers on the dray are talking amongst themselves. It's pretty loud on board. And
You'll have to speak loudly, everybody. It's a little bit hard to hear.
Perfect, Sam. Thanks for that reminder.
These are just all random people going about their evening.
Yeah.
To you, specifically. Did you hear about this MasterFools guild?
You know, I do think I have.
They just hit the scene, and they came out swinging.
Yes.
I hear no job too small, no job too big, no fee too big. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think they're quite the up-and-comers. And that's something to say in the city of up-and-comers.
True.
Gavin's
Guys,
very
we're
confused.
in the MasterFools Guild.
Can I step on Sam's foot?
I rolled insight and I only got a 6. So
Yeah, everything, yes.
Well, it's delightful to meet you then.
oh,
You've heard many
What?
good things.
yeah.
Yeah, we're in the guild. Me and do you have any questions for us?
Yes, yes. How good are you at combat?
Oh,
We killed an
so
ooze
good at
and a bunch of
combat.
wasps.
Yes, we did. To me and
We
Sam.
fought a ghost.
Me and Sam did that too.
A
Yeah.
ghost?
Do you
That's
need
really
anything
impressive.
else killed? Is there a certain point that Sam would finally understand? What
Yes, I understand.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. They're really good. I've heard good things.
What
Yeah,
about,
we've been getting kind of our time's a little tight right now because we've just got so many contracts. They've been flooding in left and right, really, and but we're not on one right now. We are just gonna have a nice night at the docks. Me and Sam, which is what makes up this guild right here.
Whoa, that's very impressive.
I just like disengage and just like look out the window.
You also do
But
non-killing
if you
things.
need, yeah, we do non-killing things. We do like, robberies, shell jobs, forgeries. If you need any intel, we do some PI stuff.
Oh,
We will kill
investigation.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I do like the
Gavin's
more subtle
gonna
arts.
reach down and kind of tug at her sleeve and say something. Say, remember those inside words we were talking about?
During the course of your conversation amongst yourselves and with the other people on the dray, unbeknownst to any of you, until after it has happened, Sam is subject to a pickpocketing.
Oh, I was supposed to be looking out for that.
And do you have a silver piece on you?
I do.
Okay,
I have
yeah.
12. So now I have less than that.
Yeah, you lose 2 silver pieces to a pickpocket.
You're not rolling against their passive wisdom?
I use passive score.
Okay, thank you. Just
Sam-
making
her
sure.
Passive score.
Sans passive score.
Is Jackie there?
Yes, everyone's
Versus
there
a 9.
when Sam realizes that the coin is missing.
This city is rotten.
Oh, it's part of the
If I see what happened, do I look? I want to look. I'm not going to notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I look and see if I can?
I wouldn't even tell you guys. I would just be like, this city.
Oh.
So
Oh, you just mumble that and we have no idea why.
no idea.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty nice outside of the sewers.
I mean, they take
Never mind.
I'm having
bribes.
a pretty good time.
Yeah, those sewers were pretty spacious, though.
They are some nice
At least
sewers,
they're
I mean.
well designed, probably. I hope.
Like, if I had to develop an underground empire, not that I would plan that in any way, form, or fashion,
Of course not.
I think that would be one of the better sewers to plan an underground empire.
But what kind of city are you bringing up how good the sewer is? I mean, that just tells you how bad this city is.
Well, it means the surface is clean.
Bribes.
As you reach the end of
Just Brian. He said it like there's gonna be a list.
No.
as you reach the end of the road, it turns and Deccan suggests that it is time to get off.
Is there a pull cord? Do you just kind of jump off?
You kind of just hop off the back of the dray whenever it slows down enough that you feel like it's safe.
All right,
Oh,
ready, Jackie?
I'm
Jackie?
down. Jackie tucks and rolls.
I-
Like, no problem. I'm just.
For the sake of appearances, I want to grab you. Not yet.
Ah, yes, of course.
We're not with you guys.
Right.
I jump up.
I will keep an eye out.
Whoa!
Wait a minute. You know, nothing
You
crazy.
know, like
but,
Jackie kind of like rolls effortlessly, and
Yeah.
Sand just like
was
face
a plot
plants.
I'd like to attempt to do a little like acrobatically, kind of do a little like flip as I go out.
Yeah. Impress everybody.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Scale
I'm
everyone.
going to watch her do that. I'm going to try to do the same thing.
Competitive.
I imagine I have to roll.
Well, let's see how good it was. Acrobatics.
13.
13. What do you got, Kevin?
15.
Well, yeah, it matches it pretty well.
Maybe you just do a little spin, a little dragonborn.
Do you have a tail?
No.
Deccan leads you.
That's kind of personal. Though.
Once we hit that.
Deccan leads you down a side road over to the shore. When you come out of the alleyway there, it meets up right with the docks along the shore. And there are, at this area, and you can put yourself all the way at the bottom of the map. Now, straight down, nope, stay towards the Honorable Knight, yep, right down there. Because you guys were on the high road, so yep, that's perfect.
That's what I do.
Yep.
Quite that.
I always take the high road.
That's just because you're elevated. It's because you're usually riding on the back of a.
Unlike the Trade Ward, which has all sorts of wonderful signage and postings for all these great guilds like the MasterFools, the Dock Ward is much more gloomy. It's not very well lit. A lot of the lamplights are not kept up on. Most of the warehouses and shops that are there lack signage at all.
Let's cinch up my coin purse a little bit tighter.
Oh, this reminds me of home, actually, a little bit.
Oh, well, is that a good thing?
I thought the sewers reminded you of home.
Who watches the docks? Is it the guard or the watch?
The guard, as Gavin knows, takes care of the walls of the city and the roads to the city. The watch watches the actual city streets.
Oh, that's why I was wondering, because it's the docks, so maybe
Right.
there's a...
There would be members of the watch that would
Okay.
yeah.
The Griffin cavalry, though, would be from the guard, though, right? And that they might be flying up somewhere.
Correct.
So should we be sneaking at this point, or?
The docks are also, they usually have bigger patrols down here.
Alright, so maybe don't want to be suspicious until the very last minute.
I'm not suspicious.
Well, you're less likely to be considered suspicious than others might be.
Oh, because of the tiefling thing.
Yes, I was going to do something about it, yes.
It's another kind of inside.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with you being a tiefling.
And I appreciate
Some of my
that.
best friends are tieflings.
I really want to learn Infernal. I don't know it yet, but I'm working on it.
I've traveled a lot, I've seen, I've had, the good and the bad. It's better in a group.
Do you have any kind of like a hood that you wear,
No, I don't like to hide it. I just, make sure I'm aware of who's about to start trouble and diffuse it.
As I mentioned, not well lit. Poor houses, tenements dominate much of this area. The docks where Deccan has led you are fishing docks. There are all sorts of small fishing boats tied to the dock, and there are even a couple of fishermen still returning this evening from some late night fishing.
Do any of these fishermen look like they were burning the midnight oil, but are still I'm screwed if I don't get anything?
Make a perception check to spot.
Screw fishermen. 16.
I said that there were some fishermen who were coming in from the night of fishing. You do notice one fisherman in particular who looks pretty flabbergasted about his circumstances for the evening.
I got an idea, guys. I want to approach. Evening, sir. You look like you're struggling with your cash a little bit tonight.
Oh, yes. Good evening, sir.
He looks down. He's pulling his net out of the boat, and there's only like 2 very small fish in the net.
How are you good at being blind, deaf, and dumb?
I'm not sure I follow.
I didn't think you would. I'm gonna pull out a gold piece.
His eyes light up.
Blind, deaf, and dumb. Just walk away.
He looks down at his boat, his pole, his 2 fish. He takes your coin, and he walks away. No check required.
All right, guys, got a boat.
I do feel better about that than stealing it.
Also,
You know that they can still write things down, though. I mean, you didn't say they can't use their hands, they can't write. Maybe they have telepathy.
you didn't see or hear anything.
Nothing to write if you didn't observe it in the first place.
He hurries away before you can, in your conversation with Sam, before anybody can like rethink this, because like a gold piece is a lot of money for a boat and 2 fish and a pole. So he's like pretty happy with it, and he like takes off because he's thinking you 2 are like gonna go back on the deal. So bye.
All right, looks like I've been promoted to captain. All aboard.
How big is this boat?
And are there
It's
oars?
not very large. It will be a cramped fit for the 6 of you,
Is it
but it'll hold you all.
sail or row?
It's a row.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I take my position as a rower.
I
Okay.
take my position as captain.
Like George Washington crossing.
That's what I was thinking when he said that. I imagine Sam, I imagine Blaine at the front of the boat with his head propped up on it. Yeah. Okay, as we get aboard
Jackie's
this
like pulling her
fishing
oar
boat
like this.
in the middle of the night in the dock ward to row out into the harbor, let's take a break. Welcome back from our break. We are again here at All American Cards and Comics in Warren, Ohio, for this, our first chapter of Journey of the Bronze Wing. When we left from the break, you had boarded a fishing boat with Deccan, the Emerald Dragonborn, to row out of the harbor. There is a ship there that is anchored. We return to the group of you, rowing out into the water. Deccan is fixed his vision forward, trying to make out in the darkness the ship in the distance. He turns to the group.
Do any of you have any medical supplies with you?
No.
Yeah.
Sam?
So I'm pretty sure Sam does.
Who's carrying our potion of healing? Because I haven't one from my history or my background, but one of us should also have the potion of healing.
Up to you guys.
What do you not it?
Not it.
I've got it.
Okay. It's a good thing to have it. Yeah, it's good that you have it. Okay, I do not have a medicine kit, but I am proficient in medicine. But yeah, I don't have a kit, because I think it was like 10 gold pieces or something. Yeah.
Does Jackie mention the potion of healing when Deccan?
Yeah, she trusts this guy like to the end of the earth.
I do not mention my potion of healing. I should say I'm trained in medicine, but I do not have a medicine kit. Those are kind of expensive.
Jackie, may I take that from you?
Why?
I have good use of it for us.
I mean, I can also heal things, so I don't think we
Are
even...
you
I'm a
hurt?
cleric.
Are you injured?
No, but there are friends who could use this medical supply.
Where? We're in the ocean.
I hold up my medallion. I'm like, I'm a cleric of Daenerys. I can just cast magic, divine magic.
Our friends will need the supply, Jackie.
Hold on.
I'm gonna kind of like look.
I thought we
at
were coming for
everybody else,
treasure.
like,
You never
why?
mentioned a rescue operation for people.
Can I make an insight check, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Can we do another? Can I do another?
Everybody, yeah.
Woohoo!
Let's try to take your potion of healing. What the heck?
15.
Being really vague
12.
about it.
11.
7.
You're not getting like a feeling that he's attempting to swindle or betray you necessarily, but it is strange.
He definitely wants to use it, and we need to sell it, so we can't just give it to him.
Also,
Well, we're gonna sell all these pearls now. So what is this worth? Like 10,
50.
50 gold?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
Also, when were you going to mention that you were a pirate?
I am not a pirate any longer.
How long
This afternoon.
have you not been a pirate?
The pearls I gave to you were my last claim.
Just saying here, you know, the pearls are one thing, but these are our supplies. We can't just be spending them. But if you need healing, I can help. I'm willing to help you, but there's nobody here. If you want to start like extorting us, we are in the middle of the water.
Trust me, Jackie.
And he reaches out his glassy emerald green hand.
He reaches for Jackie, and I pull my sword.
I was like gonna give it to him until that.
Take the risk.
What?
Take the risk.
And
Shoving him in
give
the
it
water?
to him. I give it to him.
Jackie, what are you doing?
He takes it from your hand, wraps a piece of rope around the top of it, and throws it over his shoulder into the water. It sinks
Why?
So we don't trust people.
with a plop.
Are your
Why?
friends fish?
Can I make a
For some
perception?
reason.
Can I watch it go down?
Yeah.
I mean, we met
yeah.
maybe this guy's like Tucker?
2.
Gavin peers down into the darkness of the water. No sign of the...
No, I'm still looking though. I'm trying.
I hold up my medallion and I start thinking of channeling and like just kind of threatening him, like kind of, okay, were we doing this? What's going on here?
Take it easy. Take it easy.
You just threw that heel in there. You gonna throw me in too?
You see as suddenly there's a tug on the rope that he's holding through the other end.
Oh, I
you know,
didn't
on
even think of the
okay.
rope.
And a moment later, he begins pulling the rope back up out of the water. And when he does, the healing potion is no longer on the end of the rope. He peers down.
We're gonna add that to the bill, just so you know.
He peers down into the water with you, Gavin. You're still on the edge of the rope, looking down.
Yeah.
Both of you see movement in the water and something rising towards the surface.
Is this a 16-year-old girl?
Did you say?
What?
Sorry.
I'm not sure of her age, but she is not a girl. A merfolk emerges not from the to the surface of the water, but high enough off that you can see her face in the water. She is holding the potion of healing. She locks eyes with you and then with Deccan, and she disappears into the depths.
You couldn't have just said something?
Cool.
Is her name Ariel?
That was my joke.
Give me credit. Piling on.
Oh, that was what you meant by is it a 16-year-old girl?
Yeah, that was a
Ariel
conversation we
supposed to
had
be
during the break.
Oh, sorry.
Ariel the wizard.
The merfolk will keep an eye out for us. There.
Again, you could have mentioned that. It was a compelling argument.
I can see it in the distance. Look now.
He points forward.
By the way, is there a name on this little fishing boat?
I
Did we
don't think
notice?
there is, no.
Did we ask
If there
the
was,
guy
it probably
that?
long
Is it
ago.
the bronze wing?
God, it probably long ago was,
Oh, I should have looked at that kid.
come off.
It's pretty much just bare wood by now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I figured.
Yeah. It apparently is worth a gold piece, though. Okay.
Apparently it's worth 51 gold pieces.
So now we have a refrigerator. We have a house. We have a boat. Yep.
And puppy chickens.
And puppy
And puppy
chickens.
chickens.
I'm going to call it the Swift Wind.
And apparently, I like it. Sounds good. Apparently, mermaid allies. We're folk allies. Which could be good.
I do want to mention, and I'm saying this,
Dang.
Ooh. Their boat's a lot bigger than ours is.
Does it have a name on the side? Is it the bronze wing?
It's too dark. We can't tell.
to everyone, remember, we are on guild business right now. We are professionals. Right? This is a client.
Yes. We've been good.
That's fine. We are trying to build up a reputation. Take that into account when you think about questioning the requests of the client.
They didn't pay us to throw away our supplies. Healing is a big deal.
He paid us at least 30 gold. That should be plenty.
It's not enough.
It is at least 30 gold.
Oh, that joke never gets old.
I think it's getting funnier, actually. At first, I was like, this is not amusing. You know? Yeah, it's kind of starting to.
He's a
Then it will
pretty
be more
typical
fun.
teenager. I mean, it's understandable.
Oh, it's so sad.
As I mentioned, Deccan points ahead in the distance. You can see this ship that is anchored outside of the harbor, just the silhouette of it.
There she is. The captain is fond of calling her the Bronze Wing these days.
Dun, dun, dun.
Roll credits!
Yeah.
We actually had no idea what the bronze wing was for anyone watching.
Do we see any movement?
Giant boat, though. It's
From where you are currently, it's too difficult to make out.
We can get a bit closer, but I would suggest that we swim some of the distance.
Do we see any crew?
Any lights?
You can see a faint lamp light on the deck from where you are.
All right, well, let's get closer and then go for a refreshing swim.
So are we trying to be sneaky about this?
Yes.
So we probably, I mean, can we come around the, like, blanket, or, I guess that's not, this would be flanking
Where
it.
the fewest windows are?
Yeah.
Portholes?
I guess we would just want to flank it. If there's no one on the deck right now.
You're too far away to see right now,
Okay.
but from where you are, you can see that there is a light on the deck.
We don't have any lights on our boat.
We're dark in
I think we
darkness.
should be able to get a little closer without being seen.
Agreed.
So me and Blaine and Tekken can't see anything except for that light.
That's alright, the rest of us.
I was wondering if it opened also.
What's the moonlight like?
The moon is out tonight, and
What
it's
is the
providing
water?
some dim light across the water.
Just
Is
one
it just
moon?
us that have
But
dark
it's
vision?
it's not like a full moon. So
Sam
it's,
has dark vision? Okay.
what was your question?
Just one moon?
Just one moon.
Are the waters calm?
Fairly calm. Yeah.
I mean, if
I mean,
our
you're
client
coming-
wants us to
You're
swim,
coming out to the edge of the harbor now, so the water is getting choppier because this boat is just outside the harbor proper. So the water is a little bit choppier, but it's not like it's too much for your rowboat.
Alright. Well, where on the boat, ship, is this treasure of yours located?
this is a boat, this is a ship.
Does Sam know that?
The treasure
Probably.
will be below deck.
But Sam's not speaking right now because she knows she's gonna sound carries across water.
In the center, front, back. I've not actually been on a boat before.
I suspect that the captain is continuing to keep the treasure in the lower hold.
Alright.
Where exactly, I'm not sure.
One way to find out. How close do we need to get?
That's up to you guys. How close do you want to get before you swim?
Well, we want to be able to leave and put everything on the boat with us, so
Okay. Who can't swim?
We can also.
I don't know if I can swim.
You didn't find out in the sewers last time when you dunk in the sewers.
Well, you lifted me
quick.
out, so, and it was still like I could stand.
alright, so
Let's get as close until Sam can start picking out details. At that point, we need to stop.
Could we all have 60 feet darker?
correct, yes.
60 feet's like what, like right there? Maybe 12 squares.
60.
Jeez.
That feels
60
awfully
feet's
close.
pretty close. But if we want to be able to see, we don't even know how we're going to get on right now. We can't see that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Close.
Yeah, we'll go to there.
Row up
Whatever
there.
we get, we have to put back on this boat somehow. Swimming with it's probably going to be rough.
We can leave somebody on the boat to bring it up.
Yeah, let's move a little closer then.
Yeah, go ahead and put your boat where you guys want to row it up to.
Down you in.
No, I've got that picture in my head. Play 9 on the front. Patriotic music playing in the background.
Does Sam know if you can park a boat? Like, can you just put it in park and it just stays there? I don't want to ask because again, too loud.
We can start making out some details. Yes.
Make perception checks as you peer into the darkness. Anybody with dark vision of at least 60 feet? Anybody else has disadvantage?
That is a 23.
13.
Nice. 14.
Didn't even make double digits.
Me neither. 4.
Okay. So 23, what was the next highest?
14.
14.
I had.
And Temerity has
13.
dark vision. So Temerity, on the deck, you see that there are some pirates.
Of dark water.
I love that show. It was so hard to find it. Watch it in sequence though.
These pirates are all sitting at a table. The table has a lamp light on it. And they all appear to be sitting around discussing something. You can't tell from this distance with the water, but they appear to be playing cards.
Perfect.
Alright.
Sly, you gonna explode?
I want to join them.
Are there...
I want to set up and say, hey, deal me in.
So, Are these
Hold on one second. Let me set up and then we'll get back to it.
He's not going to see or hear Jack. We can approach confidently.
Sam's like silently like expressing.
Their visions are all set for bright light. They turn to the darkness, it's just going to be darkness for them. And if they're playing cards, most likely they're being loud and boisterous.
they still might hear?
Do we hear anything from them?
Or us dripping across the deck.
How, there's no range on silent image. Would you call it 60 feet?
It's just 60 feet.
Oh no, it is 60 feet. Never mind.
I guess then it's not a good question.
Yep.
It's a terrible question. What the hell?
Okay. Yep.
I would like to tie a rope off. Do we have multiple lengths of rope on this? There's a fishing vessel, is that term lately?
There are some short lengths of rope that are kind of tied to the sides of the boat for various to tie off nets and whatnot. There is a length of 50 feet of rope aboard. Right now, as you look, Deccan is affixing a grappling hook to the end of that 50 feet of rope.
So we're not going to be too quiet.
So these are the only 3 guys on deck. We can see that these are the
Temerity
only 3.
sees these 3 on deck.
I mean,
on deck.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
but,
you for communicating that. So now
No telling how many are below.
But we can see this up here. I'm gonna ask, what is that for?
What is that for?
That giant thing. Yeah.
I take out my crossbow.
It's a big version of that.
Okay. For what?
Well,
Creatures
if
larger
someone
than
tries to steal from you or attack you, they might use it. You might use it to defend yourself.
So, can I now? Silent image is obviously silent, and that is a concentration spell. But I could cast prestidigitation and use a harmless sensory effect, which could be sound. First, that's just instantaneous, and then follow it with silent image.
I think that's reasonable.
Can I make a whale sound?
Yeah.
And then, oh wait, I can't make a whale because it's a 15-foot cube.
Right.
Silent image. But can I make the little spout thing?
Yeah, I think you could do
water.
that.
And make it look like there's a whale up there.
Sure.
I mean, whales are big game, and that's what that would be for. So
Where do you want to make the sound emanate from?
the front, whatever, I don't know, boat terms. The starboard. Starboard.
Okay. You can do that. You produce the sound of a whale using prestidigitation, and then the spurt from the blowhole. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
word.
In the front of the.
Yeah.
What is it?
4.
Ford?
F-O-R.
Like Henry?
No.
No, 4. Oh, like 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that what they shout in golf?
That's actually spelled the same way, too.
Yeah.
When you do this, all 3 of them look in the direction of the front of the ship. And Temerity, I imagine you're kind of, with your high perception score there, we're keeping an eye on them and noticing this.
Yes.
There appears to be some conversation between them, and one of them slams his hand down on the table and points at the cards.
The cards?
The cards on the table.
Okay. Like said cars.
Like the Fords.
Like the Fords.
Points right at the Fords.
Alright, that was unsuccessful then. Alright.
Alright, well.
They don't want a whale? I mean, do you know how much whale meat would go for in Waterdeep?
What does Jackie's whale sound like?
Jackie's never heard a whale.
Yeah.
She's only heard it described to her what a whale would sound like. So, alright, at best it was like,
That's pretty good.
but it goes on like way too long. Like you ever see like a cat like under duress and it just keeps going
Sam like, hey.
I I don't think it's working. I care more about cards than whales.
Back to the cards. That thing's clearly almost dead.
So it's fresh meat. Just presenting. Okay.
Alright,
My whale sounded like it was a little sick. They don't want that one.
is there anything else we can do? Is there any other way in? Like, are any of these open?
Most likely they're all locked, but we could certainly check.
Alright.
I'm gonna climb in the water.
I'm about to dive in myself.
Well, there is always the ladder. We might be able to sneak past them. They're a little distracted. I don't know how good the rest of you are at moving.
Is
things
the
quiet.
anchor
I mean, they didn't
attaching
care
a
about a
chain or
whale.
That's fair.
So I don't think they're gonna break
This
from that
fishing
game.
boat only have. Oh no, there is a chained anchor. Yeah.
What does the fishing boat have?
The fishing boat lacks an anchor. There's a rock with a small piece with a small length of rope attached to it.
The mermaid's gonna watch it.
Who said they were jumping into the water? Is anybody jumping?
I am.
Okay. When the two of you jump into the water, you immediately feel something touch your feet. And as you look down, you see that merfolk are holding onto your legs.
I start kicking. Not at them, but just like
And
away.
they kind of hold you up in the water and begin moving you in the direction of the boat.
Fantastic.
Alright, I'll go right in.
Just call me Jesus. Let's do this.
This is a lot for Jackie.
I'm going to tap you and give you guidance.
So me and Bladeline do that.
What about the rest of you?
I'm in. This is
Temerity,
wonderful.
Temerity, you jump into the water and you sink down for a second and you feel one of these, a mermaid come up from the, merfolk come up from the depths and kind of grab you by the waist and pull you up to the surface and then lower and kind of start pushing you, gliding you, almost like you were riding a dolphin, but it's a merfolk that's...
Should I make myself as aerodynamic or water dynamic as possible?
They begin moving you towards the ship.
San awkwardly gets to the edge of the boat and is turns around climbing on very okay. And I'm in the water. I've already tapped you for give you guidance just in case you have to swim or anything.
I imagine San doing this and then just sort of tumbling out of the boat.
Sounds good.
Jackie's alone on the boat, just maybe I could just stay here. No, all right. And she'll just kind of very gingerly slide into the water.
All five of you are very quietly pushed up to the side of the vessel. You can move your characters up against the edge of the boat.
This is kind of fun.
While
that
you do
come into-
that, do you know why scuba divers fall backwards into the water?
Tell me.
Because if they fell forward, they'd still be in the boat.
As you look back, you see that your boat kind of turns and begins moving a little bit. Looks like it's being pushed around by merfolk as well.
Alright.
All right, you're all now up against the boat. The waves are coming in against it, lapping against you, making a bit of noise.
Am I
I'm always
drowning?
All of you
Or
are.
just hovering?
Yep, all of you have been kind of, and as you're all now able to hold on to each other, the merfolk disappear from beneath you.
I can't see that side of the boat. Is there a ladder?
There is.
I'm climbing up the ladder first.
Subtly? Or
As silently as I can. I imagine I'll have to make a stealth check.
I imagine I'm
And you
having
would have
a really hard
disadvantage if you're
time
wearing
hanging
heavy
on.
armor on the stealth.
I have chainmail. Does that count?
I believe you
Yes,
get
I think
disadvantage.
so.
Yeah, with chainmail. Yep.
That's because I switched to a chain shirt. I think so I don't get it, even though
I think
have
it does.
dexterity.
Hold on a second.
I think you get disadvantage with chainmail. Would make sense. Yes. Nick's telling us from the back that he's checked it. Disadvantage with chainmail.
Yes.
I'm trying to
While
remember
making
if I'm
stealth
actually
check.
wearing a chainmail or a chain shirt. Nope, chainmail. Okay, disadvantage.
And you're just going first.
Should have gave him guidance.
If you want to give me
I
guidance.
can't. You already went.
In that case, a 7.
A 7.
And my other one would have been a 21.
Gavin comes up out of the water, climbs the ladder. His chainmail scrapes against the wood. As you reach the top of the ladder, these 3 pirates look over from the game of cards that they're playing at you. Does anyone follow Gavin up the ladder right behind him?
I have to. Like, there's no way that Jackie's not just like barely hanging on. Like, water is just.
I have a few random coins in my pocket. I'm gonna pull them out and say, "Hey, deal me in."
As you're climbing onto the deck.
Yeah.
I'm waiting by here. Is Deccan and Blainine coming too?
Yeah, Deccan's following right up behind.
So I'll be
Should I use
ready to come up.
friends? Because it expires and then they know that I used it on them.
So you climb this ladder, they see you, and that's what you say right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
3.
All 3 of these pirates toss their cards down and draw weapons. Roll initiative.
Yeah. Okay.
We try. So are Jackie and I still on the ladder?
Yeah, still on the ladder right behind Gavin. He's the only one who's
What?
aboard.
Hold on.
Jackie,
Hold
you're
on.
you're like on the deck next to him.
Okay, well, I was asking a question before we called for initiative about casting friends. Now that does expire after I think what is it? What do you have it up? Is it 1 minute?
If this combat takes 1 minute, then we've been doing it too long.
Well, then we wouldn't be in combat.
Oh, that's
in theory.
Friends, 1 action, concentration up to 1 minute.
Up to 1 minute. Okay. Where can we get them in 1 minute?
But it's only advantage on charisma checks directed towards you.
One
I think?
creature of your choice.
It's only one person.
That's right. It's not.
Yeah, it's not charm person.
It's not charm person. I'm sorry. Forget it. Let's fight them.
Forget it. Get back to that initiative.
Let's just.
All right, let's get those initiative rolls. Who had a high roll?
20.
Temerity killing it.
I'm a monk.
I have a -1 to dex.
Who else did decent?
15.
That's pretty good for you, Blade 9.
Thank you.
Where's the sass? What's the sass for?
Jay just has a history of being the worst roller.
General Snake Eyes.
Which is why he liked Warlord so much.
Yeah.
Who else did decent? Close to a 15, anybody? No? All right, let's talk about the under 10s.
9.
9 for Jackie.
7.
7 for me.
Which one of you would like to go first?
I think your dex is a little bigger.
I have a
Also, you're
+1.
up
I got
front. You
-1.
should definitely go first.
Yeah. We'll put Gavin, and then we'll put Sam.
Where's Deccan roll?
And that's a good question. Ooh, Declan did pretty good. And then the pesky pirates.
Oh, jeez.
Good save. Good save.
Thank you very much. A lifetime of being clumsy has made me very quick on the recovery.
Temerity, there are several people on the ladder in front of you, but you do have the highest initiative score.
All right. So Jackie's ahead of me and Gavin's on the deck.
You said
Yes.
Jackie made it to the deck?
Yeah, Jackie is just on the deck, so you're like right behind him.
Okay, how much movement does it take for me to get onto the deck?
You can be next to Gavin with 10 feet of movement.
All right. And then pull out the baton. Send me right up to the first guy.
Yep.
Sorry for the interruption. 16 hit.
16. That is going to be a hit.
7 bludgeoning.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
And then I'll hit with 1 and then kind of jam back with the elbow.
Yeah.
For a 20 to hit.
Woo. Again, a hit.
And that is another 7 damage.
Ooh, another
Nope.
7 points.
Yes, no, 7. Yes.
14 total points against the pirate in the brown jacket. Anything else for temerity?
Nope.
Blana, you have the second highest initiative.
Yeah, that's.
I can get you on the ship, but it will require. Let's see, you were probably up next, or was it Sam that was up
Deccan
next?
is at it.
Deccan was-
I'm right here. Leon's right here.
So we can get you up there, but it'll take 20 feet of movement to get on deck.
Oh, that's fine. Get a magic stone this whole thing.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Same one that Temerity attacked?
Yeah, I'll focus fire. Ooh, I definitely will focus fire. That's an 18.
That is a hit.
Nice! We're going with the numbers mad to 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. This pirate who's taken 2 hits from Temerity and a magic stone from you is bloody.
That's not a thing in 5th Ed.
Deccan is up next. He will climb aboard. He will draw his sword. That would be his turn. Jackie.
The pirates rolled low initiative.
You could.
Well, they were a little distracted by their cards and then by
And then by Gavin's outrageous question.
like, what is going on here?
Okay, I can get there. Do you think she could fit in her movement? She's within range to do so. Underneath this guy's legs.
So you won't be able to move through enemy squares. Or into enemy squares.
Okay. Well, he's not even in a square. He's in like 4 squares.
Put him in a square. Stick him in one, next to the table.
Choose one square, man. Come on.
Okay,
There
if
you
he's
go.
in that square, then I can go into the square in front of him.
Yeah.
There's a table kind of in it, but that's not an
Okay.
enemy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's
You're
great. Then everybody's within range for me to Thunder Wave. And that would push these guys off.
Essentially.
And this, I think, actually, see, no, I do want it.
They have to make a saving throw when they would be knocked off.
Any unsecured objects. It does not say that that is included in the Constitution save. That only refers to how much damage they take.
Right. If an enemy would be knocked off of a thing, they get to make a saving throw to try to stay on.
Right, okay.
This says they're pushed 10 feet if they fail to save.
Okay, so they have to save against 14.
Okay, so the Thunder Wave is a 15-foot cube. None of your allies are in that.
Temerity's in it.
Okay.
I'm in it.
A 15-foot cube of Jackie.
Well, it goes in one direction from you.
A cube, I thought
But
implies
it's
that
like, it starts in front
You're
of you.
adjacent
to the
and then
cube?
it goes
Yeah.
out.
I'm not gonna lie, I was totally just thinking, the mermaids will get any of my friends if they fall off, so... Oh, there it was. That was it. It was used. Woo!
Oh, so you didn't. Then she didn't.
So I didn't need to go in between them. Like,
No.
No.
Oh, so she
You
could
want
just
to
be
be
in front of
pushing
the.
at them.
Yeah.
yeah.
You could
Well,
temporarily
no.
share my space.
I can share a friendly
Right?
space.
As long as
Step
you
in
don't
and step
slide in
out.
there.
You don't have to. You can't end your movement there.
Right. I'm fine where I am.
She can't.
She can.
She can because she's small. Yeah.
Well, then I would rather have done it.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. She is where she is.
Okay.
So, but she's pushing the other two, the non-bloodied
Yep.
two in the back.
Perfect. Okay, a wave of Thunder's Force sweeps out from you. They have to make Constitution saving throws. What's your spell save?
14.
DC? 14. The first one, which will make in the blue jacket, he passes, and then the red pants fails.
Okay, so this is 2d8. Man.
2d8 thunder.
2d8.
Yeah, 2d8. 4 and 2.
Okay, so the blue jacket passed, so he'll take 2. And the red pants will take 4. And he failed, so he's pushed 10 feet.
See, that's what I thought you were saying. This is
Yeah.
going to be a separate
Since it
check.
will be. Since he would be knocked off the ship, he gets to make a saving throw to try to hold on to the side of the ship as he falls off.
So, but they both are going to get knocked that 10 feet.
Just one of them.
Because what I'm saying is,
It's only.
It's only on a failed save that they get
it
knocked
just
10 feet.
says, in addition, unsecured objects
People
that are
aren't
completely
objects.
within
People aren't
the
objects.
area.
So the table gets pushed off.
I mean, that's up for debate.
On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and is not pushed.
Right.
There we go. Okay.
So we'll never know who won that hand.
The table goes
So
over.
the table and chairs.
goes
So your
overboard.
thunder wave sends the table and chairs flying off the deck.
Yes.
Man,
Okay.
there was cash on that.
The pirate in the red pants is also pushed over the side. He fails to grab on and is thrown into the water.
Well, he's got a flotation device.
The table.
Oh, yes.
See, at least the other guy didn't get knocked in.
I'm willing
We
to
surely
bet,
can
though,
swim.
We know how that
only
went
he
for
could fit on
Jack.
that table.
Yeah, we know. Okay, that's
Anything
it.
else for Jackie?
No, I had my turn.
Nice turn.
The brown jacketed pirate there is going to attack Temerity.
All right. 16.
Misses with a hook, and the other one there rushes. Well, I guess it doesn't rush. He moves a step towards the group of you, be adjacent now to Jackie and adjacent to you as well. He attacks Jackie for her thunder wave. What's your AC, Jackie?
12.
That one is going to be a hit. It is a hook. You'll take 6 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled by him.
Oh, God.
I feel like with your size, it would just be bludgeoning, and it would be wrapped around you.
Right? How can I?
Yeah.
The pirate that was knocked overboard, on his turn, he surfaces.
My
and
grapple, does he just have me like by the scruff of my neck just in there? Just
He surfaces and swims over to the edge of the boat. That's his turn.
I'm not dead, I'm just moist.
Is there a ladder on that side too?
dead. I like that
Gavin is up next.
Monty Python. I'm not
The
dead.
guy who has Jackie. I'm gonna go up and swipe at him with my sword.
Yeah. That would be the blue
Gavin's
jacket.
miniature is like this. Every time I'm just imagining somebody being, that's what it's supposed to be like, but I'm just like, I'm floating over here.
It's a new sword ballet.
Hey, that's not bad. What is it? It's a 19.
That is definitely a hit against the blue jacketed pirate.
Wait, I'm free?
4.
No, he's still grappled.
Oh, okay.
4 points of damage. Sam, last but certainly not least.
How much movement is to get on the boat?
We'll get you up there with 20 feet of movement.
So I have 5 feet left. I guess I'll, let's see. Did you like cry out when you got hit or anything, Jackie?
I don't know. You probably wouldn't have.
Oh, but you were like screaming because you were getting hit.
Yeah,
Like-
but you're also down here under the waves.
That's true.
So I'm gonna assume that she would not have loud enough, like, you cried. But, I mean, obviously you could see her being held up,
Yeah.
but you probably wouldn't have seen it go down from down
Okay.
there.
I'm gonna told the dad the first one we attacked.
Yeah, the brown jacket.
Yeah.
This is what
Wisdom.
type of saving? I always forget.
It's like
Wisdom
a wise
saving
pirate.
throw. Wisdom. Oh, that's a failure and a half. Rolled a 1.
I almost rolled a d20. Alright, let's see.
Big bell.
9 this time.
9 points.
Necrotic damage.
Your 9 points of necrotic damage is more than this pirate can handle. He's taken out.
Woohoo! Stop this nonsense.
That brings us to the top of the order and to Merity.
Well, my current opponent just went down. So I'll do a nice little leap over his.
That was our first
body.
round. It's been 6 seconds since Gavin boarded the ship to gamble.
Man, you got a problem.
Time to let go of the hurt. 16 to hit.
Yeah.
Did you say the her?
Yeah.
You're beyond her. You're the her.
I'm the her.
That is
The
7
hurt.
points
Sorry.
of bludgeoning damage.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Bring the hurt down.
And then Second attack.
Yeah. Temerity throwing
that is,
bows.
I think Cox.
Roll it again.
That's an 8.
That one's a miss. No hits on 8s. This is no ogre jelly.
Try not to hit Jackie. I'm trying to hit him.
He's just like, don't hit me.
Blainine, master of stones.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep mastering them stones
Alright.
at high velocity.
You got it.
Maybe not.
No,
Probably not.
just kidding.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
What'd you roll?
Number.
Number.
We have an audience.
Okay, 8. Oh, look.
Oh!
I
for the
missed.
save!
It's almost better when he looks down and just goes, nah. This is not happening, guys.
It's not a 1.
There's a chance.
Decking the Emerald Dragon.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
All I did was
Blainine.
attack.
Sorry,
I
Blainine.
got movement.
I got move.
So I want to go grab some high ground. 10, 15, 20? Stairs are 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sure are.
Alright, I want that high ground. Okay, now I'm done.
Do you pose again when you get up there?
Heck yeah! Just call me Captain Morgan. Let's do this.
Is it considered low light on here, or is it?
So it would be dim. Yeah, dim light.
Okay.
They had to be playing cards somehow.
Yeah, but you knocked off the
They
lantern.
you just have the moonlight now. Yeah.
Well, if they're human, then they will get disadvantage, right?
Well, they would get. It would
nice
be
try.
disadvantage.
I'm talking about the
It would be a
pirates.
bonus to your AC for dim light. So,
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, why are you up here? How did
Get
you
the high ground.
You want the high
to
ground.
get the high ground?
Yeah.
What?
It's over, Anakin.
Yes. I understand their power, and I am definitely not underestimating it.
Well, if you're done after getting the high ground.
I am now done.
Okay.
And Captain Morgan even.
Right. Decken is up next. Last turn he drew his sword. This turn he advances on the pirate and swings.
Through who? Oh, well, I guess we can.
He could take the same position you're in.
Jackie's in, yeah, because she's being held in midair. So just assume she's in there.
Decken hits. Ooh. He hits for 7 points of slashing damage. Right over the edge.
Over the edge!
Yeah, that he kills the pirate.
With Jackie?
Slices.
Yeah, he's holding me.
Yeah, so he lets
Just
go.
like him.
He lets go and I'd like you make a dexterity saving throw to try to, jump back towards the ship and not go overboard.
Can I try to reach out to her?
You can try to give. You can make a dexterity check too, and how'd you do?
15.
Oh, you don't even need it. So you reach out to grab Jackie, and she jumps right into your arms.
Oh, yay! Catch me!
And the
I'm not
pirate
strong enough to pull you.
goes overboard.
Does he take the
I'm
other
35
pirate down with him
pounds.
again?
You
Like
can't
he was
hold me.
climbing up, and he's like, "Oh,
Yes,
there's a
I could.
pirate."
Yes, you're little.
No, but the pirate lands in the water right next to
I
him.
tend to skip on deck.
It's your
That's
name.
all for Decken. Jack, you're on deck, and it's your turn.
It's not hitting in the right.
Why? Who else is here?
Person in the water.
Person in the water.
Yeah, the one that you knocked down is still there.
Oh, he's just like down. All right, well, okay. I'm gonna do Ray of Frost. I feel like shooting Firebolt into the water is not like gonna be that effective. I don't know.
Ray of Frost.
I do have to roll to attack. That and that is a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
It's getting chilly down there. If the water wasn't cold enough already, it is now.
2.
For 2 points. He has these really low hits that have he's taken it all from Jackie. 2, 4.
Hey, I rolled a 1 on a d12 last time, so it's depressing.
All damage is damage.
So Jackie leaps onto the deck into Temerity's arms, looks down,
I'm out of
sees,
spell slots where I would have
sees
done magic
the other pirate, fires a ray of frost down at him.
Now just his eyebrows are frosty, nothing else.
Anything else?
Does that do anything to the water?
I would think that it like creates crystals, ice crystals at the top of the water. The pirate, looking up, seeing Jackie and Temerity standing there, he looks up and he looks around and he dives under the water.
That might not be a great idea.
And that's the pirate's turn. Gavin.
Don't do it.
Don't do what? No. I'm gonna scan the shit. Do I see any lights from here?
Do you want to take your turn and make a perception check?
There's nobody else on the deck that I know of, right?
No.
Yes.
So you look around quickly. No one else on the deck.
17.
17. You peer down, but with it being dark and the water also being dark, you can't see him.
No, I meant on the ship.
Oh, yeah, you look around, you don't see anyone else on deck. You've only been on the deck for about 12 seconds.
Has there been any, are there any lights like in the deck? Sorry.
No other lights on the deck.
In the doors, the door that's open over there or any other things?
Those doors are all closed.
Oh, fine.
That was
Gotta get consistent. I can't even see it.
And that was my action to do the perception check?
No. If you wanted to, just to look back and not see anybody would be not your action. But if you want to take the turn to look thoroughly, then that would be your perception.
Is there a door on this side?
Yes.
yes.
I'm gonna go towards the door and open it up if I have it. I don't know if I have the space.
You do?
Probably about 2
You're-
feet away.
Oh yeah, you make that easy.
All right, open it.
You go over
It
to
only
that.
took you 15 feet to get there.
You go over to that door and try to open it.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
That's two.
We're rated R now.
Okay. So, Gavin, you're going to rush over to that door and try to open it. That door is the door to the captain's quarters. And when you try to turn the handle, you hear a clicking sound followed by as a dart comes out of the locking mechanism and attempts to strike you.
Cool.
That door was trapped. The doors to the captain's quarters.
Keyword here now.
Pirates don't trust anyone.
was.
You don't
Right.
trust anyone.
So like a master thief, you disarm the trap.
Yeah, you disarm it all right.
All according to plan, which we definitely made.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hey, I'm good at those.
Big money, no whammy, no whammy. Stop.
7.
Ugh. So first you take 1 point of damage as the needle pierces into your hand. But the needle was poisoned, and so now you'll take poison damage on that failed save. Ooh. 12 points of poison damage.
Cool.
And your Constitution save was what?
7.
Team.
Nice try, Jay. You're poisoned.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Nobody ever gets poisoned. How does that affect things?
It actually is really hard to find information.
Are you
on
sure I'm
exactly
not
how
on
poison
fire?
A poison
finding-
creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Are you sure I'm not on fire?
I'm sure.
I'd much rather be on
You'd
fire.
much rather be on fire? Yeah, you have a disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks
Until I save.
for the next hour.
Ooh.
Good metabolism. Poison eating for just an hour? That's
I mean, that's
not
acting.
bad. Yeah, here's some water. Go pee it out. You're good.
The door remains locked. That's all for Gavin's turn. Sam.
Okay. I say to Emerald Guy, hey, what's the plan now? And
Derek.
then Deccan. But yeah, thanks
Dustin.
for that. You saying that made me remember it. Deccan. What are we doing now? And then I'm just gonna look over the side to see if he surfaces on this side or anything, and just keep an eye out.
Make a perception check.
Okay. 7.
7.
It's a popular number.
You don't see any signs of the pirate. Deccan says,
We should move quickly below deck.
That below deck or this below deck?
he points at the,
The 4?
yeah.
Nice.
This one?
Well, this isn't below deck. This is the captain's quarter. Like, we don't
It's
know. where-
technically below
There's actually,
There's
if you look at the top of the deck, there's actually 2 sets of stairs, one at the front of the ship and one at the back of the ship. They both go down.
Alright.
Oh yeah, just in front of the
Oh, okay.
behind the masts.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I thought below deck was like here.
That makes sense.
Are we still in initiative?
Okay.
Mhm.
Are we just leaving this?
Yeah, let's stay in initiative because there is a pirate unaccounted for right now. That's
Sand rolled a perception check and did not see
didn't see any sign
anything
of
on
it.
the other side.
No.
Did it look like he dove intentionally?
It was kind of difficult to see. He looked up at you guys, kind of freaked out, looked around, and then went under.
Ah, they got him. Our girls got him.
Whose turn are we today?
It would
just
be
went
back
back
to
into
the top to Mary.
Alright. Well, if you say so. I'll wait. Okay, I have 40 feet of movement, so I have 15 feet left to. I'm gonna peek over, and then just kind of do a quick like tap, and then jump to the side of the stairs if I can.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
You're gonna peek down.
I'm gonna kind of look down, make sure no one's about to shoot me in the face, and then just kind of stairs and then side of the stairs.
Yeah. When you look down, you can see it's a ladder that goes down to the deck below. And you can see that there is definitely lamplight burning from down there. The deck is lit below.
Okay, well,
But you don't see any signs of anyone down there.
I will just go down below deck, kind of duck to the side of the ladder and take the dodge action.
Blana.
I'm gonna hop on down. I am gonna.
Do you, oh no, I was hoping. Do you like just whip over the banister and
Yeah, I'll actually move the
just
stars.
like that?
Absolutely.
3-point landing.
That's. I was gonna say that might be a 10-foot fall, but I'm not. Yeah. Rule of cool. Not a 10-foot fall.
On my way down, I'm gonna give Sly a solid high five while casting Cure Wounds, not Cure Light Wounds. So, help my man out a little bit. That is
D8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
math. 5.
Thank you.
And then, because we're going real cool, roll down the stairs, landing on my feet like a cat.
Make an acrobatics.
Tried to push him too far. 12.
Okay. All right. That's good enough.
I like see.
So you drop down.
Maybe
to
it
the
doesn't look
deck
as
below.
cool as it does in your head.
Yeah, it's a very Star Trek combat roll.
It's very Shatner.
Just because I realized that I was like, well, we have until 6:30, but then I was like, yeah, but you have to clean up, Brian. Shit.
Oh, that's you can't see. I'm so sorry. I was like, it was right there. You can't see that.
No, I can see it. I'm
Oh, okay.
just
I can't see it
spacing.
at all.
So yeah, I can't see.
We all ended up places where we can't see.
Do you just want the minis down there, or
Yeah, we'll
just
put the minis down there. I'll give you a description of the
I
deck,
was just
and then
being
we'll.
spacey and didn't realize you were talking to me over there.
I do that all the time.
Just from our point of
Fix
view.
my barrels.
I'm sorry.
Elevator
There we go.
music, behind
The
eyes.
player you're trying to reach is unavailable at this time. Please hang up and try your call again.
The Windows Start logo. Like, huh?
Blaynine, when you descend to the deck below, you see that there are a few lamps that are lit, providing light in the area. It is filled with cargo. Much of the cargo you can see has various stamps upon it belonging to different groups or different organizations. You also notice that there is a door both at this end and this end. From the one at this end, you hear the sound of someone going number 2.
Really glad we got that description.
Yeah.
They didn't even hear the thunder wave over.
I mean, you're done with your turn, though.
Yeah.
Decken is up. Decken jumps down next to you.
I have a question about Decken. Did he, before doing that, seem to agree with Jack? He's friends with the mermaids. Mm-hmm. So, did he seem to agree with the statement that the mermaids probably got the guy? Like,
He's not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not sure. He wasn't looking too closely at the edge. That's all for. Oh, when Decken jumps down, Blade 9, his sword's already drawn. He says, "Do you see anything?"
I hear a mighty battle behind that door.
He looks. Someone in the privy.
At least one. It sounds like they may be giving birth, though.
Is that what they call a poop deck? Nobody was making the joke.
Someone had to.
Jackie.
So I'm gonna still, unless, do you want me to roll for it, or nothing has happened in the water, right? Like, I want to hesitate, just do another real, like, double check.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Oh, I took all the die away already. Oh,
It's okay, I didn't bring mine.
Sorry, they're really hard.
They are. 12.
Just as you're about to look away, you see a couple of bubbles come to the surface, and you then see as this pirate surfaces,
Oh, man.
takes a big breath, and then gets pulled right back under.
Oh, alright. That's exactly what she does. She goes, oh, alright. And, let's bounce. They got it. It's fine.
Gavin.
Well, I'm still at the door. I just got hit by the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kick the door.
You gonna try to kick the door in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Along.
Make a strength check.
With disadvantage, right?
Yeah, because you're poisoned.
6.
You're obviously angry about the situation. You are not feeling so hot, and you go to kick the door, but the poison that's coursing through your veins just makes you so weak that you just give it the lightest little tap, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Cure wounds doesn't cure poison?
No.
No.
It's actually
Sam.
not a lot, though.
Antitoxin. Oh no, that's just gives you advantage. Did Decken kill the guy that fell off?
Yeah.
I go up and I slit this guy's throat.
Whoa.
Pull out a dagger. Just I don't even slit it. I just kind of shove it in.
Sam, with no one else on deck, walks.
No, Gavin's still on
Oh,
deck.
Gavin's still on deck. Yeah.
The mast is in the way.
I'm busy dying over here.
He's got the cold sweats.
The door.
Sam, with no one watching, walks over to the pirate and finishes it. Oh, wicked.
And then just kind of.
And tosses the body into the water. I think that makes a great stopping point. I've really enjoyed this session at All American Cards and Comics here with all of you. Thank you so much for playing with us, and thank you so much for watching. We look forward to our next session, which is going to be at Critical Games and Hobbies in 2 weeks. That one is in East Liverpool, Ohio. Thank you very much for playing, guys.
Right on.
Will Gavin recover from the poison needle trap? Will Decken find the stolen treasure in the cargo hold? Who else is on this ship? And most importantly, is there anything good to eat on board? The answers to all these questions and more are found in Journey of the Bronze Wing Chapter 2. Subscribe and be the first to learn what awaits our heroes below deck. And be sure to check out Syrinscape.com for epic sound effects and ambient music to add to your next game. I'm MasterFools GM Brian Brown. Thanks again to All American for hosting us, and thank you for joining us on this adventure. Don't forget to like and comment, and until next time, may you roll with advantage.